everyone, and welcome back to another painting session here with me on Patreon. And today I am painting a custom reborn baby. I won't reveal who the mommy is, but I will share, the process of this baby. And this is Ramsey by Casey Brace. And I have already neutralized him. If you can see here the difference between the ring of the vinyl and the actual head itself, you can definitely tell that the baby is more pale than the original kit color. So I have done 2 layers of my neutralizing color, and that's what you see back here. And then I am doing now creasing. So I don't have a particular order on how I paint my babies, but for sure the first steps before I do any washes is neutralizing, creasing, veining, blushing, and mottling. Neutralizing always comes first, and the rest, it really just depends, up to you. I like to do mottling last. And then after I do those few steps that I just shared with you guys, I do my washes. And that all just depends on what I'm looking for, what kind of skin tone. So anyway, I have already creased the head here, as you can see. I've done the eyes, here under the eyes, the nose, inside of the nose, so the little nostrils. I've also done on the sides of the mouth, but it's really light. You see creasing here. And then pretty much all of the creases for this kit. Then I shaded in the ears. This kit doesn't have a lot of creases in the back, or actually no creases in the back. And I don't know why I didn't do this, but I always crease the back of the ears. Now I notice that I forgot on this one. So that is something that I'm gonna do. And maybe that's where I'll start off with this baby for you guys. Okay, so we're gonna start again here, back of the ears. But before I go ahead and I focus on that back of the line, back of the head or the ears, this is the mix that I'm gonna use, and in another video I will show you guys how I make my creasing color, but it never looks the same. I never use the same set of colors, but I always know what kind of tone I'm looking for. So anyway, I'll talk more about that when I talk about how I make my creasing color. But in this case, all of our color has settled at the bottom of the cup. So if I just tilt it over, the oil that I use to create this color just moves a little to the side, and I can just pick up my color here with my brush, a very, very, very thin, fine brush. Go ahead and I pick up some color. I don't even have to mix anything. So the color is on the tip of the brush. And now I am going to make that line. And here I'll show you guys. So I'll start out with a line like that. Peanut. Literally sitting at the edge of the... And then with this e.l.f. concealer brush, if you guys have seen me promote it before, you can purchase it at either Walmart or Target. But with one of these ones, I'm just going to drag that color. And it blends so nicely when you do it that way. So I'll show you here. Turn around the head and then just drag that color. And the further you carry that line, the light, it starts fading. So you do have to load up the area with more color, and then blend that out. So you can, if you want, if you feel like this little area here is not as dark as where we started, can add a little bit of more paint in that area. And then just drag that color. And I don't know how I ended up getting those little speckles. Let me see. They're just little clumps of paint. Must have been dried up on my brush. Okay. Sorry, that's the coffee machine. My wife feels a little tired, huh, Steph?
What?
Feel a little tired?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so there you go. That's how I did that back of the ear. So now I'm gonna do the other back of the ear, and I'm gonna load my brush with more paint. And then start out with a line here. Ooh, that's kind of a thicker line, but we'll fix it right up here. And I can tell I have a little bit of excess paint. So what I'm gonna do is try to dry up my brush, remove some of that paint, that extra paint that's on my brush. And then I'm gonna go back in here and just continue to blend that crease line, and make sure there's no excess paint on here. And it's really easy to fix that when you dry up your brush with a little piece of paper towels. And there you have it. If you want your line darker, then after you bake it, you can go ahead and crease it a second time, and you'll notice that your line gets significantly darker. And you can keep doing that until you achieve how dark you want your crease. Typically, I only have to do 2 layers, so I'll do 1 layer, and then I paint the doll, and then I notice that the creasing starts to fade, so then I go ahead and I do another layer that just makes the creasing that was there just pop, and it's even darker than when you painted the first time before, but it looks really nice. What's that? Oh my gosh, it took that long to start brewing your coffee? So I will make sure to bake this little one, this little cutie, one more time. There you go. Oh, he's so cute. And I'll do some creasing here with the legs, and I apologize if it's repetitive, but for those of you guys that do enjoy just watching someone paint, then I hope you guys enjoy this next part. Oh, and it really smells like coffee around here. It smells so good. Okay, so we're gonna grab more paint. Okay, so then I'm gonna drag that line all the way down. Okay, so I hope, oops, see what I just did there? I left a big old red line. Okay, so we're just gonna use a clean sponge, add a little bit of thinner here, and don't rub too hard, but that should clean it right up. Okay. And the reason why I start creasing other areas like you guys saw me do, so I'm trying to disperse the paint around because I know what I applied is too much for that little area. So instead of like using a sponge to absorb the excess paint, I just go ahead and I just move it around to a different area here. And then we get a lot done quicker. So I'm gonna need some paint in here, but I'm gonna try to put just a little bit. Okay, maybe that was a little bit too much. Oh, whoa, where did that come from? And we are going to continue our creasing. Okay, now we're going to, let's see. There's a little tiny one right there, but I'm not gonna crease that one because sometimes over creasing doesn't look good either. And I also feel like that's not a major creasing, something that needs to be noticed in order to give the baby depth. So I'm going to actually ignore that one. So so I'm trying to get rid of some of that paint that's in my brush, so that's why I start creasing other lines. And then now I go back to this original line and I finish the blending. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then there's a little bit here. There you go. Oh, that looks really good. I really like it. Okay. So now we need to add another creasing right there. So once again, we add a little bit of paint and then we smooth it out. There you go. Okay, once again, I'm trying to get rid of some of that paint in my brush, so I go ahead and I start creasing another area, then I return to the original one and then finish up the blending because I don't have a lot, I won't have that paint, excess paint on my brush, so it's gonna allow me to blend that better. Oh, I don't know why I forgot you were there. I saw that. Yeah. I thought it was a loon.
It's as soon as I get up and turn. It's right in my stepping area. Because I really thought I was not gonna hit it. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you shouldn't have your camera like that. I don't need to be sorry for your phone. But I really was trying to. Get into these budget babies and then I want to keep working. And I'm like, no, it's a budget baby. No, stop what you're doing. Because it'll be like fun and I'm like, oh yeah, this next one. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a budget baby.
So there you have it, guys. This is how I've been doing my creasing, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely hope that I was able to offer you guys some like new things to try out. But anyway, see you guys all in the next video. Bye.